What up, guys? It's your boy, Fanlake Mamba. We're in a building, you feel me? Yeah, so basically, guys, today I'm just gonna be doing a weekly breakdown on Nasdaq as to where is the potential move of Nasdaq for the coming week. Are we seeing a bearish move or are we seeing a bullish move? It is very important for us to see which opportunities we're gonna be looking to capitalize on them more than the other, like in terms of selling or in terms of buying. So this is very important to do a weekly breakdown to see where the market is going. Probably, let's say the market is going to be selling for the whole coming week. This is when we're going to be looking. We're not just going to enter there at the top and look to sell, but we're just going to be looking for selling opportunities along the way as market keep on pushing to the downside. We're looking for opportunities to capitalize on because of we know that the longer term momentum of Nasdaq is to the downside. So now this is what we're going to be doing today. Just going to be looking as to where is the Nasdaq going overall. So you can see that here Nasdaq created what? It created a resistance where the market came in here and shot to the downside. As you can see, this candlestick, it has a lot of momentum to the downside. It clearly tells us that this is a strong level of what of resistance. And you can see that market came here, it didn't really touch, but after it came, it pushed to the downside, came again, and it pushed to the downside. So it clearly tells us that this is a strong what? Is a strong level of resistance. Finally, it was broken, and you can see it was broken in the form of an ascending tapeting, of which it was increasing probabilities that this will come for a retest before you can see another move pushing to the upside. And as you can see, it came back to retest the trend line, the resistance that has been turned into what? Into support. And you can see here it printed out two tweezer bottom formation that has been created here. And what is that you see market pushing to the upside a bit and coming back to retest this same support level that has been turned, that was resistance that was turned into support. And you see price shooting all the way to the upside, and now we can see that price is coming back into these areas here to possibly test this support level. That is a strong support level before it can probably continue pushing to the upside. So now let us go down to H4 time frame. So on H4 time frame, guys, we can see that now what is that we have? We have this level of what? We have this level of support that was tested here, the first peak that was being tested here, as you can see, and then we came for the second peak. As you can see, the second peak was tested again, the price rejected. You can see it showed what? A rejection candlestick. But then again, we would really be interested in taking this shade if it can come back to test what? To test this level of what? This level of support here before we can look to capitalize on more buying opportunities. But nonetheless, Nasdaq for the coming week is looking very bullish, but then you can still see this push to the downside, and then we're going to be looking to capitalize all the way to the upside. Let's say if Nasdaq it doesn't really come into what? Into this support that we are looking at it for come. What is that we're looking for Nasdaq? We want to see Nasdaq breaking this what? This resistance here. We want to see Nasdaq coming in here, breaking this resistance and coming back for a retest before I can look to capitalize on what? On Nasdaq pushing all the way to the upside. Not forgetting what? This important level of what? This important level of resistance that has been formed here, because of this is an important area here of which we pay attention to. So we're just gonna see how market gets into these areas. Then that's when we're gonna be looking to scale in, adding more position into our trade, or we're gonna be looking to close if the market is gonna be respecting these areas, possibly come back to the downside. So this is the overview. This is an overview of Nasdaq for a weekly market direction. This is what I currently have here. As you can see, guys, here is that if you're looking to buy Nasdaq, this is where we're gonna be looking to buy Nasdaq because of this in this area, this whole area here. As you can see in this whole area here, the market is not really showing us any move as to we are buying or selling, or someone will be like, okay, I'm looking for price to break what? To break this resistance here, because of this is a daily resistance. I'm looking for someone to break this resistance here. Then that's when I'll be looking to capitalize. That's when they'll be looking to capitalize all the way to the upside. But nonetheless, the move or the momentum of Nasdaq is still not really straight as to where it wanna go. As you can see, it's making what? It's making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So probably if it breaks here, this previous lower highs here, and come for a retest, then that's when we're going to be also looking to capitalize all the way to the upside. So this is an overview of Nasdaq as to where are we possibly looking to capitalize on Nasdaq. So let us look at US30 and see how are we looking to capitalize on US30. So as you can see, and let me just erase everything. As you can see on US30, let's start from daily time frame. So as you can see on US30, we had a double top formation that was being formed here, and then you saw it pushing to the downside. And then you can see here, if you can look on your left, you can clearly see that there's a level of there's a level of resistance that was formed here, and now it has turned into support. Possibly it could come, it was coming to retest it, because as you can see on a daily time frame, it didn't really break it below, it closed above this support level here. And if you can clearly see on H4 time frame, you can clearly see that we're seeing this big rejection candlestick. As you can see here, this big rejection candlestick on H4 time frame, it confirms that yesterday could be possibly looking to buy. But then again, we're not going to be buying blindly. We want to see yesterday breaking these areas here. Let me just remove this so that my chart won't be full of lines. We want to see yesterday breaking this area here, hence coming breaking this area and coming for a retest in these areas here. Then that's when you're going to be looking to capitalize all the way to the upside, having our target to the next key area. Remember guys, when we're putting our target, we're putting our target on the next key area. We don't just put them anywhere or on our chart, we put them on our key area. So this is what we're currently looking at for USD to see if we get a bit of a push to the upside, breaking into these areas here, and then coming back for a retest. Then that's when we're going to be looking to capitalize all the way to the upside. We're looking to capitalize all the way to the upside. Sorry about that, guys. Looking to capitalize all the way to the upside. So thank you so much, guys, for your time. Looking forward to having more sessions with you guys. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and click the like button, and you share with your family and friends. And don't forget to join the winning team on the 3.0. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey guys, what's up? This is your FX Chasers mentor, Tremaine, and today I'll be doing a breakdown of GBPUSD. Now we'll actually just start on the weekly time frame because there is some important structure to kind of note on the weekly. So if I just expand this, and we'll take into account, or rather we'll pay attention to our extreme highs and our extreme lows here on the weekly. So what we can see on the weekly basically is this market that has essentially created a double top structure. And after this double top structure, we've essentially had this move to the downside. Now, if we know the nature of a double top structure, is that we basically expect the market to violate the neckline of the double top structure and essentially come back for a retest before the continuation to the downside. And what we can see on the weekly is that we did not get a retest of this neckline of this double top structure. So it is an important structure to kind of keep in mind and to kind of note down. So what I will do on the weekly is essentially just draw this resistance area over here, and then that will essentially help us when creating that bias and going down onto those lower time frames. So then we'll go down onto the daily chart, and on the daily chart, what we're going to do is essentially look for structure and essentially also come up with a directional bias based on what structure is showing us. So on the daily chart, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mark out my most recent highs, which is this high here and this high here. We'll extend that trend line, and then I'm gonna mark also my most recent lows, which are these lows down here. So we'll just connect those lows, make sure our trend line is just on there. Cool. So then from this point, guys, we do see an ascending structure, and we're aware that ascending structures normally break to the downside. So from a daily perspective, guys, we do have a market that has essentially given us a 3-touch structure We did have our first touch in this area here, our second touch in this area here, and of course the market is at our current third touch, or where we expect this third touch, followed by that push to the downside. So now that we have our directional bias on the daily chart, we know that we are in an ascending structure and we are looking for those short positions. Now we can actually go down onto the 4-hour and mark our most recent structural levels. So on the 4-hour, what we can observe, guys, is that we do have a market that still is essentially giving us a corrective structure to the upside. Now, if we look at the market nature from the second touch, guys, we do have this impulsive phase to the downside. After that, guys, market has been violating highs and has been creating those new higher highs. But if we take into account or pay attention to how the market is actually breaking these highs, we do see that the market is breaking these highs in a corrective manner. So that's obviously one of the signs, or one of the things that show us that there is momentum that is moving to the downside. And when this market is essentially making this move to the upside, there's not a lot of momentum, as we are not breaking those previous highs impulsively. So what I'm going to do now is just mark out structure on the 4-hour. On the 4-hour, we'll just take into account our most recent structural highs. So just mark that out using this trend line. And as you guys can see, we do have a nice ascending channel here on the 4-hour. I'm not going to actually mark out this resistance or the support trend line, just because we already do have this larger time frame structure support trend line drawn in. So we want to keep our charts as clean as possible, as neat as possible. Now we'll go down onto the 1-hour chart and essentially find out what the most recent price action is doing, because that's what's more valuable or what's more important actually when it comes to us making this next trading decision. So what I will do is I'll also mark out structure on the 1-hour. And if we do take into account all of these previous lows here, we do see that we are in some type of a corrective structure as well on the 1-hour chart. We'll also just take into account these previous highs and mark that trend line over there by just drawing all of, excuse me guys, these previous highs here. So then on the 1-hour chart, what we can see is that this market is essentially correcting to the right hand side, and what we can be looking for, or rather the opportunity that we will be looking for to capitalize on GBP USD, would be, this is actually the ideal setup that might present itself. So if the market does actually break to the upside and violate this previous structure that we do see on the 1-hour, and actually show us some rejections from this level here, maybe break back into structure and then show us some commitment to the downside by showing us a corrective structure, whether it's a 3-touch structure or not, we don't care. We're just looking for a corrective structure to show us commitment for this move to the downside. This will be an ideal entry, guys. Other than that, guys, you could be looking for a risk entry, which would be an entry taken at the top. This risk entry could come in the form of a reversal structure, which would be, for example, maybe a double top structure where we have a break and a retest of this neckline. Or this could be in the form of a head and shoulders structure, where we also will have that break and retest of the neckline of the head and shoulders before we make that move to the downside. Regardless of what structure the market gives us, guys, all we want to see is we want to see a rejection from these areas here, followed by a change in trend. So because we're going to be using the 1-hour to actually execute on these positions, we want to see our 1-hour chart begin to make those lower highs and lower lows, showing us that we are moving in the direction of the momentum that we want to be trading. Remember, based on our higher time frames, we saw the momentum moving to the downside, and we're seeing corrective structures being made to the upside. So we want to be trading in the direction of that momentum. So we'll wait for our H1 chart to actually show us that we are now creating those lower lows and lower highs, obviously, which are the characteristics of a downtrending market. So on GBP USD, the ideal entry would be if this market actually does break to the upside, then breaks back into the smaller H1 corrective structure that we do see. Nonetheless, guys, we are short bias on GBP USD. Remember, guys, the market is pulling up into that weekly resistance area that we did speak about, and as well as we can observe the nature of this market, that as we are moving to the upside, we are creating these higher highs, but we are not creating them impulsively, showing that the momentum is to the downside. So guys, this is the quick analysis on GBP USD. I'll just go onto the 4-hour to explain to you guys what our potential targets might be on this trade if we do manage to find a good entry. So the first area of targets that we might be looking for is here at the beginning of this corrective structure. Remember our H1 corrective structure, we started over here. So this is potentially the first area that we might look for some short-term targets, and our long-term targets, guys, will be at the corrective structure on this 4-hour chart that has essentially started somewhere in these areas over here. So we are expecting some long-term selling pressure to come into the GBP USD, and essentially, guys, we will be looking for this trade from that target, from that potential entry area into these target areas down at the bottom.
Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope everyone is well. This is your boy Offensive Aloyi. So today we're gonna be looking at GJ on a 15-minute and the possibilities of GJ. So on GJ here, I'm on a 15-minute time frame. So as I'm looking at the market, I'm actually seeing that GJ for this coming week is gonna go down maybe until this level, and maybe after this level it can break down here. Let me do this. It can come here, play around, shoot to the downside, come for a retest, and continue shooting down until let me do this. This thing is giving me problems. So after breaking there, possibilities are after breaking this support, the market can break here, come for a retest around these areas. Let me make this zone a bit bigger. So the market can actually break this support, come for a retest, and continue coming down until this level right here. So on this coming week, we're actually looking to sell GJ. Because as you can see here, I was already in a trade. Because when the market got to this point, I had my zone here saying that if the market actually rejects this level, I'm gonna sell this thing. So the market actually rejected this area because it couldn't break to the upside. I actually took a sell here, and for more confirmation, some of you guys could have taken a sell around here because the market went back into a structure. This might be a false breakout, guys. This might be a false breakout. So I actually catch that this might actually be a false breakout. That's why I took a sell here. So as you can see that the market has been rejecting these areas just right here. The market has been rejecting these areas right here and has been rejecting this for a while. So the market actually went back into structure, came back for a retest, and is continued shooting down. So we're gonna be actually looking to sell GJ for this coming. So we're actually gonna be looking to sell GJ for this coming week. We can actually sell it until this point and wait until and see what's gonna happen when the market actually reaches this point. Is it gonna break, come back for a retest, and continue going down, or is it gonna reject these areas here and continue going up? So we'll come back with the updates after the market has actually done that. So what I'm gonna be looking again for is, I think it's gold. Yep, it's gold. So as you can see what's going on here, even on gold we have a false breakout. We actually have a false breakout here, guys. So I had this resistance right here because the market came to this resistance a couple of times and still was unable to actually break these areas here. So we're actually looking to also sell gold. But the only way we're gonna sell gold is that if gold actually come to these levels right here and actually close the candlestick below and come back for a retest, that would actually be a safe trade. For now, it's still playing around. It's still a Monday, so we're actually gonna see what's gonna happen. But we're actually looking to actually take this trade. The market break, the market come to here, come to the break here, come to this level right here, and shooting down to the downside until this areas here. So that's what we actually expecting on gold, because as you can see that gold has been rejecting these areas for a while, so meaning this is a very strong resistance, so possibilities are gold can actually go down, break this support, come back for a retest, and continue coming down to the downside until this level. Like I'm saying, Monday is actually a slow day, because as you can see the market doesn't have that much volatility, but then these are actually what I was actually looking for this coming week. So actually, thank you for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna be posting more content concerning this. So cheers guys, cheers.